Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here again. We're going to take a look at KuCoin. And just before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I can summarize the fact that it's just kind of hanging out around 65.5, 66,000, testing the resistance at 66,000. We see the one-day close above 66. We're going to be in very good shape. Okay, but we're above both moving averages, so all is well for that. Now, if you're new to the channel, though, keep this in mind. I'm not a financial advisor, of course, but I've been trading for well over 15 years. My goal is to help you become a better trader, and that's why I designed and created a trading community. Link in the description below for that, but I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we all learn and grow together, and I have very good relationships with all of my members. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you better if you decide to go that route. If not, that's cool too. Just note that the rates are increasing next month, and you can lock in your rate this month. There's only a limited amount of slots available. So taking a look at KuCoin here, what we're looking at obviously is the most recent increase, right? So we had a pretty large pump, right? Was that 2 or 3 days ago? And now it just kind of ramped up again after a nice retrace down to consolidate right around 32 cents, which is a pretty standard place, right? 0.786 on Fibonacci is a very standard support level on a momentous trend, okay? So just know that we're in good shape here still, in the sense that it just broke its all-time high. And oftentimes when you break an all-time high, it can continue to make higher highs, right? That's a very common characteristic. Now I get the question right now, should I sell and take profits, or should I, stay within? Well, we'll see if we can kind of help answer that. Because ultimately it's truly up to you, of course. I like to take profits when I can. I already took profits at 36 and bought back in at 32. But on the same accord, is it well worth it to take profits now, or is it just going to keep going? We'll see if we can find that out. All right, so one-day chart, all standard here. Nothing really to note with the moving averages. They're well behind. RSI's over 70, as you can see. You see this the tried and true trademark of essentially a bullish trend, right? The RSI cranks up over 70, comes back down and bounces off 70, and 70 works as a support. So that could continue to work as a support moving forward if CRO keeps taking off. Now, I'm not up on the news on CRO right now, but I have heard there's definitely some things going on in the back end. They got some crazy cool commercials, and there's a lot of fundamentals, I believe, that are going to keep driving CRO's price. So that social sentiment is positive for KuCoin, so look that up as well. But I think that is influencing the price action here in the recent past. So taking a look at the 4-hour chart, we got the MACD convergence, I would presume, here recently. Yep, right there. And that just converged at right about, what is it, 2100. So 2100 yesterday, this big candlestick here. So pretty obvious. You can see it. It's easy to point out just based on the sheer volume of the increase there. But that being said, yeah, as you can see, just price comes up, hits the resistance, comes down, bounces off support, and continues up again. So oftentimes, when this happens, it'll keep making higher highs and higher lows. So this is good news. That's a higher there. That's a low. They got a high here. So as long as the next low is higher than the previous high, the previous low, then we're going to be in good shape, right? So ultimately, in order to see this continuation, whether or not it shoots up or comes back down, I'm more conservative personally. So I'm likely going to take profits at right around 40 cents where it's at, and I'll try to buy back in right around 35. I know I miss out on some opportunities, totally get that. And if you're different, don't worry about it. That's not necessarily the same approach you have to take, right? But that's commonly how I like to do it. And when I see higher lows and higher highs forming, then that's usually what I like to kind of plan on doing. Because if all goes well, it just continues that same trend, if you will, all the way to the upside, right? So we get a lower, higher low here, and then we get a higher high there, higher low here. You can kind of just see the trend just continues as it gets higher. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. Of course, hope doesn't get you anywhere. I know that, but generally speaking, that is kind of the goal, for lack of better terms here. Anyways, yeah, so higher highs and higher lows, that's established. That's a good sign, right? We like to see that. It's not a problem that's getting stopped out right now. It very well could ramp back up, because honestly, in most cases, when coins break their recent all-time high, it'll continue to the upside more so than it will try to dip down to the next Fibonacci retracement line, right? So I think the odds of it going up higher is probably larger than it would be for it to come down to 35. Now, what we want to do is look at market exhaustion, kind of see where it's at. That'll help us understand more specifically its likelihood for continuation, or if it will retrace, because that's where you need to kind of look. Because the Fibonacci retracements are all well and good, but they don't really tell you how long these momentous trends have been occurring. We need to rely on TD sequential for that. Okay, so let's take a look here. So TD sequential, first of all, if we pull that up, we can see that we are well past overtime here. In fact, let's go ahead and get rid of this Fibonacci retracement so we can make it a little easier on us. But we can see that we are past that point. Now, here's something to note. First of all, if you're new to TD sequential, when you reach a 9, it's commonly referred to as a state of exhaustion. In other words, the price should go sideways or retrace after that. That's a pretty common characteristic. That's how the higher highs and higher lows can continue, right? You get up to a 9, you retrace down to a 5, back up to a 9, and you just keep that going. Well, if you look back here, the history, it hit a 9 right here, and then it pushed an extra, what is that? Extra 25% to hit its resistance. Comes back down and consolidates right at that 9 where the previous high was at, right? I hope you can kind of see where I'm going here, because if you look at this here, we've got a 9 right here at the resistance. It broke the resistance, pushed up, create a new high. Is there a likelihood of the price coming back down to consolidate right here where the 9 had closed? I think so. Yeah, that's a very common location in which the price will retrace. So to me, based on this overextension, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 4 candlesticks into overtime. That's what I refer to it as. In other words, that's why you see that bright color. It basically means it's an extreme, right? It shouldn't go any further. If it does, then you can expect a significant retracement after. So for us to not have any further of a retracement, say we want this to continue to make higher highs and higher lows, then it has to retrace right now, right? If it keeps going higher, we're going to see it come down lower and start making lower highs and lower lows. We don't want that, because that concerns people, right? I think it would concern me too. But what I'm getting at here is that I think based on its history, where it basically caps out at a 9 here and then continues to consolidate and retrace back to that same location, that's ultimately what should happen here. So we should expect the price to come down somewhere in this range, right around, I would say, 36 cents. So should we take profit now? I think it's advantageous to consider doing so, because even if it pushes up even a little bit further, we'll see it come down anyways, right? I really think the likelihood of it pushing up extremely high right now is pretty low, unless there's a major fundamental catalyst that we're not aware of, right? But basically, just strictly on the technical charts alone, that's exactly what we're looking at here. We should expect to see the price come back down. So I'm going to take profits. I'm going to set an alert right around 36 cents and make sure that I pay attention to when the price comes down. Oops, I did 39, sorry. Let's try that again. There we go, 36. So anyways, that being said, that's kind of what we're looking at, right? We want to ultimately have something like that occur, and I think that it will happen that way. That's just my personal opinion, but big picture, there's a slight chance it could continue upwards, right? So don't get me wrong, there is that chance, but I think the odds are in our favor for the price to come down, at least to see a kind of a healthy continuation. But again, it's right there at the all-time high. There's another alternative. Keep this in mind. There's one more alternative that could occur. The price could consolidate right where it's at support. Okay, and then that's the other variable that we don't know yet. But if it does, just say we get about, I don't know, 12 to 24 hours worth of consolidation right here at this line, then it might be safe to presume that the price will stay there and increase from there, okay? In other words, if you see back here, just really quick here, you see 1, 2, and then the third candlestick comes all the way down, right? That could very well happen again. We got 2 candlesticks here. If we can get just say 3 or 4 4-hour candlesticks to close above this level, then we're gonna be in pretty good shape. That is kind of reaffirming the fact that it's a support level and not a resistance, right? So we're still a little premature to identify that, but the bottom line is it's overextended. It shouldn't go much higher. That much I feel is safe, right? The last thing we maybe want to try to look at is the big picture here on what could happen. So here, let's see. I think I pulled it from here. And we'll just go ahead and take a quick look at the best case scenario. So say it consolidates right here and doesn't dip, or say it dips and then bounces one way or the other, and it goes up, right? Then the best case scenario would be right around 64 cents within the next, what, that'd be 1 to 2 weeks? So I'd say by month end, we could see 65 cents from KuCoin, but between now and then, a lot has to happen. We need to establish a nice level of support and kind of calm down before it increases again. And that's just, again, my personal opinion. Some other coins have been making me out to be a liar, like KDA. That shot up 2 extra days longer than it should have. Yes, it eventually retraced back to the place in which I called out originally, but it had that extra momentum for some reason, right? Crow could have that same thing going on here, but if you look at this, even on the 1-day candlestick, we're at extreme overtime. So the 1-day candlestick and the 4-hour candlesticks are basically telling us that we're at an extreme state of exhaustion. I'm going to go with the odds on this one, expect the price to come back down, if nothing else, to at least retrace to about 35 cents. So again, set your alerts or maybe your target at 36 cents. Consider buying the dip if it establishes itself as a support level, right? So that's kind of what we're looking to do. I'll take a closer look at KuCoin. I'll keep this on my daily reviews here for a little while, make sure we stay on top of it. But I really confidently can say that we're not expecting any significant price increase in the near future. We should see a retrace to 36 and then effectively buy that bounce. Again, as long as it's still making higher highs and higher lows, we're in good shape. If it comes down below, what, 32 cents, then we're in potential trouble, or we're going to see it take a long time to recover. Okay, so I hope you found benefit here today. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, if you're not part of my community, feel free to consider joining. It's a really awesome trading community where we all learn and grow together. And I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and my trading success rates between 85 and 95%, somewhere in that range. So hope you find benefit. Again, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.